can be. Lucy in the last band here for Evil Geniuses. Again, another really strong AD carry on this patch.
All right, so looking at the top lane bans that everybody's been focusing on, Shyvana is the only one who's been taken out. So that does leave the Olaf as well as Mundo up. Now Olaf can also make use of that Perseverance Mastery, which is the reason why everyone's looking after these very tanky top laners. When he gets low, it's also going to boost his lifesteal that he has with W.
It's your favorite mastery, isn't it,
It
Kirby?
is. It's ridiculous.
So Olaf, the first pick there for EG, really tells you something about what they want to be doing with their team. And Determined, we mentioned that Westrice doesn't really like to play this style, but...
So here's the interesting thing about Determined Gaming. Even though Westrice is very locked into playing Assassins, they've adapted by having Arthelon sometimes play the tank's top. Arthelon has played Shyvana up top. He may very well take Mundo up there as well if Westrice does not feel comfortable on that champion.
And it's really nice to see Determined actually swapping things around. And I mean, they know how Westrice plays. They know he's so strong on those Assassins. They've really been flexible with their team comps just to make sure that he's accommodated. And when they look good, they look really good here. And I love this pick as well. Jinx up for Determined.
Yeah, they want to fit into the meta of the tanky top laners, even though they don't necessarily have the top laner to play that champion. So they've made the good adaptation. And then Jinx, this is what Robert has been going after every time that she is up. Very, very good endgame champion as well as strong in the late game. So she really brings pretty much the whole package.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we mentioned Determined don't like to do this. They've been practicing for sure for this tournament. Maybe Westrice has picked up Mundo as well. They could also throw him into the jungle, so we'll have to see. But EG got a couple more seconds to pick their next two here. Olaf, nice and flexible as well, but looking like they maybe want to complete a Leona pick here for Krepo.
I mean, I like to see Krepo on Leona. He goes aggressive pretty early. If they can get the early level 2, then you're definitely going to go all in with Leona. If she gets that level advantage, then they definitely can push you out very early. But like I said, Bubbadub also likes the Thresh. And even though in the CLG game we saw the Thresh play a little bit too early and miss countering the Leona, Bubbadub's very experienced. I think he could get the timing right and stop Krepo in his tracks.
Yep, the next pick there as well for EG, Ziggs, a champion that got banned in both games actually that we just saw between CLG and Alternate.
Ziggs, amazing at shoving. He's just so good with all the area of effect magic damage. It's a very annoying champion for a lot of people to play against because he can just constantly shove the lane in and harass you while he's doing it here. And like I said, on the other side here, DTG, they waste no time locking in that Thresh. That's going to be the combo that they've been going back to for this bottom lane. So they feel really comfortable. And
I'm interested to see that Vi is actually the selection here, though, because Elise is open. Brokenshard loves to play him, but it's actually going to be Vi here instead, which means Westrice or Arthelon will likely be playing Mundo.
Well, since they're looking at Jinx already picked, Sivir is banned, and Lucian is banned. They're not too worried about whatever AD carry Yellowpete's going to go with. The Ezreal has kind of fallen off. You know, he is mobile, but a lot of his laning phase does depend on those skill shots, and if you miss a couple, then you can easily fall behind.
Yeah, he's still very safe, which is the reason a lot of teams like to play him. I mean, when all the ADs and supports are so aggressive like they are now, having someone as safe as Ezreal is really, really beneficial. But I love this pick from EG, by the way. We said Pobelter might be a wild card, and they can still move this around, but Riven is a fantastic pick if you can play it.
Yeah, Riven is an InnoX style champion. I was talking about he's a lot like Westrice in that he didn't like to play the very tanky top laner. So he could play the Riven top. It could be a Riven jungle as well and take Olaf top. So there's still time for them to switch these bruisers around if they really want to.
I mean, EG's working with the new roster, as we've mentioned, clearly working some kinks out here, but they've got a lot of interesting versatility in their solo lane picks here. I mean, you look at this team, it's not exactly obvious where everybody's going.
Well, they've got the engage there from Leona. That's great. You can always bring the guaranteed long-range engage from your support. That frees up their solo laners to be more damage-oriented. Ziggs with the AoE, and then Riven with the 1v1 potential.
And this is a big pick here. I mean, we're talking about Assassins, Kobe. Kha'Zix, the last pick for Determined.
That is a Westrice favorite, but also Arthelon plays this champion, so they're still going to keep you guessing. Kha'Zix can also all-in very early. Level 2 all-in from Kha'Zix is very deadly for someone like Ziggs. If Pobelter misses his satchel or ends up bumping the Kha'Zix along with him, then he could go down very early.
And I think maybe Arthelon's Summoner Spell is giving a little bit of giving it away there. He is going to swap over to Mundo, and it looks like, as you called, Arthelon played Shyvana, as you said, in that one game, and Determined did a lot of really funky swap-arounds. to make that work, but they did make it work.
So this is a nice thing that I think that Determined put a lot of thought into, though, because they know that there's this meta you can't get away from right now. The tanky top laners going in that defense mastery, they've decided that since Westrice can't really adapt to it, they're going to have Arthelon do it. So he's happy to fill in there, and we're going to see that teleport Mundo coming from the top.
So, Kirby, we've seen the draft now. What do you think of these two teams here?
I am so excited for this game because I feel like this is going to be one of the closest matches of the entire series that we're going to have here. I have no idea what's going to happen from this EG team because haven't been able to look in on any of their scrims, and they haven't had any competitive experience.
All right, so as the teams load into the game, let's take a look at who you think is going to win today's Promotion Series matchup. According to LOLesports.com, 77%
you get the fan
favorite. Snoopeh, Krepo, and Evil Geniuses will be playing in the North American LCS this spring.
There's so much star power on this team. Kind of expected that vote from the online vote. But, you know, Westrice and them have a lot of fans as well, so that's pretty surprising. 77% is a very large number.
And remember, our coverage continues Saturday as Alex Ich and Gambit Gaming take on ManCloud and XTG in the Battle of the Atlantic, followed by Team Coast fighting to win their way back into the LCS when they take on the challengers, the Walking Zed. But we are ready to go here in this one. EG on the left for the blue side, Determined Gaming there, going to be on the red, and level 1 Kobe. Any shenanigans we can expect?
Well, we have no sweeping lenses. Everybody's starting with the warding trinkets, which is it's very common here too. You don't really need to switch over to the sweeping lens until later when you can upgrade them. And it's a lot more effective at clearing out wards. Looks like we may be looking for the old level 1 dance-off in the mid.
Yep, Arthelon just hanging out, going to throw a couple of briefcases out to say hello to Krepo, and we do have a pause to kick things off. So had a couple in the battle match as well. Players just want to make sure that everything's A-okay.
Everybody keeping their calm about them, though. They're all ready.
It is important to stay calm during a pause,
yes,
Kobe.
Especially the level 1s there. There's not a lot of action. There's not much that could be throwing them off here. It looks like everyone is really spreading out, too, for one of the normal openers. So it doesn't look like there will be any heavy invades, mostly just covering all the jungle entrances here.
Yep, so pretty standard stuff. I mean, we could see some deep warding happen. Haven't seen as much of it for whatever reason in the last few patches, it seems like. Teams aren't really moving around as 5 and going to do the level 1 warding, but...
So part of the reason for that is that supports now do not like to start with a whole bunch of wards like they used to. It used to be, oh yeah, support's just going to start with like 4 wards. We'll take them in the level 1 invade, get some nice vision down. But now they actually like to start with either a gold generating item or just the Doran's item for that combat effectiveness. And they don't have a lot of extra wards for the early invades. That's why I think it's fallen off.
All right, so we are back into it now. We'll see what does happen at level 1. Just kind of expect everyone to hang out and make sure they guard all the entrances, but you never know, Kobe. Always up for some excitement. I think most importantly, how this is laned is going to be really interesting by Determined.
It looks like it is going to be standard lanes coming up here. I mean, Arthelon, he's sitting around middle, but if you have teleport there on Mundo, he'd probably make his way over and find himself top. They are making the switch very early here, though. You know what's really interesting is that Krepo is the support that's been using these Doran starts a lot to get the early advantage and get those early level 2 fights started down bottom. But it looks like here, Bubbadub knows what his plan was, and he's also gone with a Doran shield.
Yeah, I mean, Krepo's talked a lot about Dorans, almost to a joke at this point. And so Bubbadub may be showing some respect, being like, I'm going to build it as well. But we are going to have Determined move around now. It has 5 actually up towards the top bit of Tribush. So this could be a big, big invade here. There are scouts available though, Kobe.
InnoX is in a pretty good spot there. And he does put down the ward, sees the entire invade happening.
Yeah, that's good. Riven going to back off now. This blue buff potentially under threat. In fact, it will be invaded here as it's just about to spawn. Wards being put down there by Determined as well. And very little they can do for an answer here. EG probably just going to try and trade away for the other blue.
EG doing a really good job. They did not hesitate to walk over to that other blue. Krepo and Yellowpete started up before Snoopeh's even in range for it. So they're just going to prime that one up, serve it to him on a platter.
And Krepo being a nice support player here, tanking it up with the absence of Snoopeh, and looks like he is going to be able to get that blue buff. In fact, might not have to use his smite. Arthelon actually looking for the steal, but Snoopeh is going to get it.
All right, so Snoopeh will be very happy about that one. Olaf suffers tremendously without the first blue buff because it improves his clear time so much with the axe spam. Without that, you go very quickly, and you also cannot throw at the axes quite as much.
Yep, and actually going to continue doing a little bit of counter juggling here. Very creative. Got Krepo in tow there, kind of an old, very old M5 throwback there. doing a bit of double jungling, and Snoopeh going to collect an extra camp there.
And here's the all-in from Westrice.
Well, Pobelter, though, able to get out with a satchel charge, but exactly what you talked about, Kobe.
Right, that would have been the plan there for Arthelon, but Westrice, being the Kha'Zix in mid now, does go for it. He's able to get a nice chunk of harass down there onto Pobelter, but no summoner burned.
Nope, just the satchel charge, able to get himself out of the way. Westrice a little low in mid, actually. Gonna have to watch himself, but probably just getting poked down by Ziggs. I think that's one of the interesting tensions of that matchup, Kobe, is that there's some great poke for Ziggs, but if Westrice can all in, he can kill him very quickly.
Right, it's the kill potential, and here comes the game!
Oh, that's bad news. Pobelter getting aggressive, but there comes Brokenshard looking for first blood, and is gonna find it onto Ziggs.
So, Brokenshard here, knowing that he's going up against Pobelter, who has a tendency to, he's influenced very easily by early game pressure, gets the kill on Pobelter. If they can set him off from this, get him on tilt, that could set the tempo for the entire game. But here comes Snoopeh looking for tower pressure.
So 3-man push down the bottom, gonna be the same up the top for Determined as well. And that tower is going to go down very quickly. Jinx such a strong pusher, and Determined going to pick a whole lot up here very early on.
This game getting started off so quickly here. Brokenshard, he got the first blood and then went for the exact same move that Snoopeh is doing. So even though he spent his time mid to get the kill, they also get the turret first.
And that's just some really smart presence of mind from Brokenshard. You mentioned he likes to be aggressive when he can, but the most important thing about jungling is making smart decisions, and Brokenshard made two very, very strong ones.
And even though, it's kind of mirrored situations, I like that they got it a couple seconds earlier. It kind of turns this into a game of chicken, where the 3-man team that continues pushing and got the turret first is going to have the advantage, and it forces the other team to recall back, and they lose out on a little bit of extra tower pressure there.
So towers are going to get traded away, but Determined Gaming with the first blood going to get themselves about 400 extra gold. Now Brokenshard looking for Pobelter. He's going to throw down the ward though, and they're going to back off.
So instead of the extra tower pressure that EG gained from taking that early, they actually gain that pressure mid and allow Westrice to CS without the Ziggs poke coming down to him. But Snoopeh is able to make the call here, and they go for the close objective.
This is a beautiful call from EG. A little risky and a very early dragon here at 5 minutes, but Determined already sitting up top. Pobelter rotated up there as well to push out the mending wave, and EG going to get 5-minute and 15-second dragon.
And that is the least that a dragon can be worth. The average level, the lowest is level 6 there. So like Jat was saying, the early dragons, yes, they're great, but not worth quite as much as before.
I think given that Determined were pushing down this tier 2 turret potentially on top, makes a lot of sense to clear out the objective when you can. And look at that, Kobe, dead even now in gold as a result. Some really smart decisions by both teams here early on.
Right, so it's dead even. The only little nuance here is that the secondary turret for EG has a huge chunk out of it. It's down to like a third left. Brokenshard's taking a good harass in the mid though.
Yeah, Pobelter here with a satchel charge. Very nice. He placed the mines in front of him as well. Maybe going to pick up the kill. Does get it there with the bouncing bomb.
Oh, wow. Brokenshard with a little bit of misplay there. That happens sometimes for junglers when you go over to the mid lane, not quite used to laning there. He wants to get a couple lane CS, and Pobelter definitely makes him pay for it right there. So, people who are worried about Pobelter going on tilt, he's back to 1-1 now, and we'll have to see how he plays mid-game out.
Yeah, looking good still in Pobelter. He's looking aggressive early on, clearly able to get a nice little kill in the mid as Brokenshard rotates through. I mean, the minion tax, Kobe, you're a jungler, you know it's very, very tempting, but did cost Brokenshard his life there.
Yeah, very tempting, but it's very dangerous as well sometimes. It looks like we're seeing rotation here from Snoopeh up to pressure this top lane, and they're going for the dive onto Arthelon.
InnoX looking for it. Arthelon actually already flashed out of the way. The undertow will hit. Briefcase in the back for Olaf as well, but EG just going to try and continue their tower pressure, it seems.
Because of that pressure down bottom too, Arthelon definitely got zoned out much harder than InnoX. Level 4 now, but he's still behind InnoX as far as that 1v1 matchup is concerned.
And then again, a pause just to ease things out here after a lot of early game action.
Definitely very close. All right, so let's jump back into the Rift here. We will take a look at that top lane. And like we said, InnoX, since he's got the advantage here over Arthelon, he's gonna be able to shove it into lane, but it's very hard to dive a Mundo, as we've seen already.
Yep, and I like this little item choice as well coming out from Pobelter Ziggs. He may not necessarily finish the Zhonya's that quickly, but I like the Seeger's arm guard here, just up against Kha'Zix, because really, Kobe, you have to just defend against all that damage.
Yeah, not only does that arm guard help him in the lane phase, but you really need a Zhonya's late game so that you can stop the reset train from going on. Make sure that Westrice will all be delayed at least another 3 seconds when he goes for that kill.
Yep, so just down the bottom here, you can see a lot of farm being exchanged back and forth, and now RobertxLee and Bubbadub going to be working on this tower down towards the bottom lane here. They've already managed to push down one, going to try and see if they can do it here again, and for whatever reason, all those rotations, a lot of movement from EG, big CS discrepancy is a big all-in from InnoX, but doesn't quite fire the ultimate. There we go. They couldn't quite get him.
And he takes 2 tower hits on the way out, almost evening up that trade. So even though Arthelon is getting bullied around, like we said, he's kind of just like a punching bag, a very, very sturdy punching bag that's taking these hits and then regenning up under turret. The only question is, how well can he CS under that turret while being pressured?
Well, Riven actually surprisingly good against Mundo. Again, talking to Crumbs before the games, and he really likes that as a champion against Mundo. But InnoX is mirroring the summoner spells here, and that's not going to quite get a Mundo killed.
If you don't have Ignite against Mundo, it's really, really difficult to finish him off. And we've seen several times people just get baited because even though you know he's got crazy regen when he gets low, sometimes it's just too juicy and you don't want to let it go.
I mean, you want the kill. Everybody loves to chase kills, but chasing a Mundo, much like chasing a Singed, not always a good idea. Is down the bottom. This turret is getting hammered by Determined.
An interesting side effect of all the 2v1 action and the shoving that DTG did on that top lane is that this matchup here that was Leona Thresh, that's kind of based on skill and can he interrupt the Leona, just got swung completely in Thresh's favor. This is all a Determined Gaming lane right now because not only is Leona lower level, but Krepo's also taking a large amount of harass, so it's very difficult for him to go for that all-in.
So Determined just continuing to shove down towards the bottom lane. Looks like junglers are sniffing around now out towards the bottom lane, but we'll see what happens. I think the next dragon is due up quite soon, about a minute and a half here on that one, but you can see the Jinx Ezreal matchup really just looking good for RobertxLee.
And now we also have that amazing moment that is the level 6 jungle Vi. So he has the potential to go for those very high impacted ganks on the mid lane. The only thing is here with Pobelter, he's playing very safe now because he saw the level 6 ding there from Vi. So he's going to be playing far back and he will save his satchel for when they come for that gank. Because if he does not have it up, then a Assassin plus Vi level 6 combo is a pretty easy kill.
We've seen a lot of fast pushes actually from Determined in their games leading up to this event, and they're really not slowing down here on the bottom turret. I think EG knowing that they're trying to get it done. Krepo going to go and fast on there as well. Great ult on top of it. The barrier. Ruga pops in there, lands it out. Maybe another box pops in there as well. And Bubbadub maybe going to take him. Here's Brokenshard looking on the edge with the 6 ult coming in as well. And Snoopeh picks up the kill. Now Krepo in a whole lot of trouble on Leona. And there's just people everywhere. InnoX teleported down. Mundo with the double kill as Riven's going in. Now Brokenshard has to get out there as quick as he can, but Pobelter roaming down there. Ignite plus short piece for the kill. And Arthelon, last but not least, going to get stunned up there by Kibo, so Westrice absolutely doesn't want anything to do with that.
And a huge win for EG right there. Krepo with a great job. He did not hesitate. Yes, okay, Bubbadub got the interrupt there, but Krepo didn't hesitate to follow up right there. He chained it, got the ultimate stun as well onto Robert, and then even though both teleports come in, they're able to get the upper hand because they got the first kill. All right, let's take a look again. There's the flash from Krepo because he got knocked back and knocked up, and that flash and stun combo from Krepo enabled them to get Robert so low that in comes Pobelter with the ultimate from mid lane, and Snoopeh covers him off right there. Arthelon first TP in, but here comes InnoX as well. The Riven with their ultimate up, able to just chop everyone down, and Brokenshard is not going to be able to get away. Neither is Arthelon, and Westrice is left watching from the bushes.
And when all is said and done, EG picked themselves up a 2,000 gold lead early on in this one, and Determined were looking for a dragon. They're very sneaky, but EG going to chuck down the pink wall, going to look to claim their second dragon in a row, potentially? No. Instead, just going to back up, clear out the woods they know are there, and we're going to go again, Kobe.
Well, Arthelon is up top again, but both people used their teleports last time, so this is an easy dragon for EG right here. They don't have to hesitate at all, and it should not be contested from Determined.
Yeah, and that top tower already gone, remember, as well. Determined finished that one up already, so Arthelon just kind of pushing as hard as he can to maybe get to the tier 2, get a little bit of damage, but that was a very nice dragon as well.
Yeah, I don't really like that rotation, sending your teleport top laner up there when you know the dragon is up. It was kind of an easy call there for EG to go grab that objective, since there was nothing really left for Arthelon to take up top and answer with.
And InnoX now just going to farm away all these minions that pushed in, so not only did the pushing from Arthelon hurt his team in that dragon fight, but a whole bunch of easy CS for InnoX to pick up in there as well. Blue buff going to get transferred over to Pobelter as well. And action down the bottom, but Bubbadub misses the hook.
They are getting some nice damage onto this turret here, though, down bottom. And they know that there's no teleports, so the Riven's not going to be coming in behind them. Looks like they are not going to give up on that pressure down there either.
Ooh, Brokenshard, bit of a miss vault breaker there. Didn't quite go through the torch.
Okay, so there's a big woo from the crowd. You know, it did look bad, but oh, here we go.
That's a beautiful stun. Great chain CC. RobertxLee obliterated there. The Chomper's down as well, but cannot save him.
Oh, Robert found without his support there. Bubbadub not able to rescue him. Krepo, again, not hesitating. He's been on point with this Leona play.
I mean, he often is. That's one of the reasons he loves to play Leona so much. He is a sniper with the Solar Flare there. And EG, that last little fight's really giving them some confidence here. And we talked about it, Kirby. If EG are going to win, it's probably going to be a big min game. But Westrice going to try and turn it around. Now Snoopeh in here as well. And it is indeed leap away there for Westrice. He gets bombed out as well. Maybe going to go down. Is Snoopeh going to look for it? He flashes out of the way. Pobelter not quite enough. Unfortunately, the ultimate goes. Not enough though. Now Brokenshard on the Snoopeh. The dunk there with the Assault and Battery. He's ignited and will go down. And Pobelter, despite the blue buff, very low. Brokenshard. He's going to try to do it. He's going in there. Excessive Force coming in. Picks up the double kill. And Arthelon going to shake off the Riven harass in the top lane. But beautiful play in the mid.
This is often the story with Westrice. He is a very aggressive player. So Pobelter, knowing that he's going up against Westrice, tries to bait him into a fight. He does a good job. Gets Kha'Zix extremely low because he's got the Olaf right behind him, but in comes Brokenshard, and they're able to turn it around. They actually get the double off of that. Beautiful, beautiful just play right there, able to work themselves out of a bad situation.
And a little unfortunate for Pobelter. He just now finished his Zhonya's, and despite having blue up, ran completely out of mana to try and pick up that kill. So tower is going to go here for EG. That's a nice rotation. Down the bottom though, RobertxLee answers.
All right, so I said they weren't going to give up on that pressure down bottom, even though he got caught out and killed again. He returns and he finishes his job. Good job, Robert.
InnoX going to do the same thing here as well. 3-2 now in turrets for Evil Geniuses as they pick it up. And the only outer turret left alive is the mid turret here for Evil Geniuses. That's a pretty important one.
All right, that importance of that is signified by everyone grouping up around mid as soon as Determined show any threat of pushing it down. The Leona and the Olaf there just waiting in the wings, and after everybody backs off, they'll go to buy.
Yeah, so some curious item choices moving through here. We can see Tiamat's actually on both of the top laners there, so Kha'Zix and Riven going to be going for that item. So plenty of split push, plenty of all-in, plenty of burst. Lots of good looking stuff in there as well. Junglers well on the way with their builds. You can see Spirit of the Ancient Golem plus a Giant Spell apiece for each of them. Mundo versus Ziggs, of course, not quite the matchup we expected, but Sunfire for him with the Zhonya's in there, and double Bloodthirster now finished for both ADs as well. So everybody seems happy.
Everybody is happy. I mean, the Tiamat on Riven there is definitely an extremely popular build because Riven gets so much bonus AD from her ulti. An auto attack reset has even more value than usual. And she can just destroy waves as well as champions.
So Determined Gaming looking to group up now again. We've mentioned how important the mid turret is. They really want to try and get it down. And I think another interesting thing, Kirby, the teleports back up now as well for those top laners. And we saw what InnoX did with his last teleport on Riven.
Now, it's interesting because when Riven teleports in, it's usually a high impact very early on. Like, there'll instantly be a lot of damage there. You know that Riven's been there. But it takes a little while for Mundo to actually take effect in that fight. So he's going to want to be the one teleporting in first, and he's going to want the initiative there to start wreaking havoc a little bit earlier.
And Krepo continuing a good run for this game as well. Actually finished up his Aegis already. So that's a nice little one for the team. Sweeping Lens going to go down there, and Dragon up in just over a minute. EG looking for something here.
So they're trying to get a little bit of control here on the blue side jungle, and they're going to make Brokenshard pay for it.
Beautiful Xander's Blade forces the flash out there. Fight is going to be okay as RobertxLee will move the choke through with the Flame Chompers there. And now blue buff, though, really nicely timed.
Krepo, again, doing a great job. Has not missed yet. Uses his ultimate to get a flash out. That's always an amazing trade because Leona's ultimate, extremely low cooldown. Looks like Robert might even be chasing everybody off here by himself.
Mundo actually coming in for this one. Arthelon around the side. Westrice as well. Everybody from Determined trying to move in here as Snoopeh is going to take some damage. Westrice getting low. The Zhonya's there from Pobelter. Looks really good though as Robert flashing forward, trying to get some more damage. You can see Brokenshard low in there as well. And EG really positioning well though, forcing the flash out there for Bubbadub. RobertxLee got up in the Xander's Blade. Arthelon looking bad in here as well. The ultimate there moving through. Westrice almost dead, but Yellowpete snipes him off with a Mystic Shot.
Just destroyed here, and they're going to let Bubbadub walk away with his life. but another huge team fight win for EG. That is a really good timing too, because you just talked about that dragon, only 10 more seconds. Now, Determined thought they had the advantage here. They cut him off. Arthelon again with the early TP in. Westrice gets chunked out so low at the beginning of this fight though, that even though he has upgraded for the resets, he doesn't get to do any damage. You can see him just walking back and forth here down in the bottom. So that was a large chunk of damage that DTG were not able to take advantage of. And Arthelon, even on that Mundo, is not that tanky yet. Not able to survive.
And I have to say, Kobe, hats right off to Krepo there. Once again, plays beautifully on Leona. He started so many skirmishes. He started so many fights. CC beautifully there with that one. And of course, the ultimate once again hit against Mark.
Yeah, people were doubting this EG team, you know, but it looks like they've really been working together very well. InnoX has been teleporting down at the right times as well, and he was able to turn that one around.
Brokenshard once again. No flash this time. Does Vault Breaker himself out of the way there, and EG did pick up their second or third straight dragon at this point, Kobe. I think it's the second, though.
All right, it looks like they are going to recall here. They have done a pretty good job of controlling the dragons, but they've also taken all of the outer turrets, which is really huge for them. Like we said at the beginning, they want to be shoving constantly. They do have that Ziggs.
Yeah, I mean, you said it there as well. Ziggs looking good. Pobelter going to pick himself up the blue buff as a result, so he'll be happy with that one. Red buff going over to Vi once again, so Brokenshard now hitting level 11. Going to try and make some high impact ganks come through as well. Snoopeh looking good as well. Randy one's on the way. And just in general, EG slowly but surely with some great team play, really getting the goal going here.
And if Snoopeh gets tanky enough, you know, he can just run straight at Robert and force him out of the fight there. Oh, another engage here from Krepo. He does get done up this time, though.
Yeah, you got snared, unfortunately, so I believe you cannot move out of the snare if you've Zenith Blade, because, you know, if you need to go from one spot to another, you just won't go to the other spot.
Yeah, Robert right there with flame choppers, getting his supports back.
And tower does go down there as a result for EG, so 4-2 now in that Magic Day, and you can see the gold lead really starting to creep up now. EG 34,000 more or less to the 28,000 or so there for Determined.
Now, an interesting thing here for the mid and late game is that since both of these supports did not start out with their gold generating items, there won't be that extra mobility there, at least for the EG team, because Krepo still has not gotten his coin. So he's not going to be having an upgraded coin for that speed of effect until much later if he does ever even decide to go for it. And all of the speed up for Snoopeh for that Olaf is going to have to come from himself.
That's a little surprising to me. I mean, Olaf is just so great when he can speed him through. I think that's part of the reason why Snoopeh actually has Ghost here instead of the Flash we've been seeing a little bit more of on Olaf, more as a style choice, excuse me. But we kind of thought about Yellowpete's build. He absolutely wants nothing to do with the blue build. He's gone full damage here, BT, and it looks like Trinity Force is going to follow up. He's just hanging out here with Arthelon. Mundo, a pretty tanky guy, but maybe he can get some work done here. And Pete must feel good here.
Yeah, I mean, he is going to finish that Trinity Force and get the speed for himself as well. So it looks like everybody going to fend for themselves as far as the boosts are concerned. And I think that that's just really Krepo being so confident in his ability to hard engage that they won't need the extra speed up for any chasing.
Yeah, they kind of know that the late game doesn't look that great, so even if Ezreal's able to kite consistently, that's maybe not going to get it done here as well. Can have a little bit of a party here. Snoopeh just missing that death sentence there. So the wards are going to get cleared out now as well. Determined really looking put back into their base here at this point. You can see InnoX down the bottom. Teleport not quite up, but he's going to go in onto Westrice. Damage moving through. Westrice, oh, beautiful knockup moving through. He's trying to juke him out. Pops the active there. Should have the exalt that does get him. He just misses the key burst, but is able to do enough damage. Yeah,
that was just an outplay by InnoX there. You can see Westrice was trying to pull some fancy footwork there, and he even flashed at the end, expecting it to come out from InnoX, but so many back and forth movements expecting the wind slash, he actually just wasted a lot of time and wasn't able to get the cooldown on his Q reset for another kill.
And InnoX, with that very nice bit of finesse, is able to take out a tier 2 turret all by himself out in the bottom lane as well. So Evil Geniuses, we kind of mentioned it, we're not sure what to expect. Apparently big things here as they're looking fantastic in this opening game.
Yeah, we said that in the beginning that InnoX and Westrice are very similar top lane players. You know, neither has really conformed to the tanky top lane meta, and both of them just prefer those assassins. Right there, we just saw, you know, InnoX kind of one-upping Westrice and calling him out.
Yeah, and that item build really progressing along enough. InnoX's last Whisper has been finished up for Riven, so he's going to be doing all the damage here at this point as EG are kind of mooking their gold lead a little at this point. Pobelter, interestingly enough, is actually going for a Chalice of Harmony now. So didn't want it early, wanted the Zhonya's as soon as he could get it, and he's picked that up now, as well as we see rotation.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of play into that late game vision that I talked about for EG. They've got the shoving, so it's going to be the Chalice keeping Pobelter's mana up even when he's not able to grab a blue buff, and they have that InnoX split push down bottom. His teleport is back up, and we've just seen that he can handle Westrice, so Determined would have to send somebody else down there if they want to.
And as far as split pushes goes, Riven's a pretty good one here. I mean, AD
Yes.
casters in general really good at killing turrets, and InnoX with the Ravenous Hydra as well, able to push very quickly. So Mundo's going to rotate over, but look at the chunkage, Kobe.
All right, yeah, so Arthelon is going to try his hand at this, but really, like we said before, he's just kind of soaking up minions under the turret. He can't force InnoX out of that lane. He's just going to continue taking a little bit of a beating here, and InnoX is going to do a great job of pulling resources of Determined Gaming down to that bottom side so the rest of his team can make plays up top.
Krepo going to go in once again. The ultimate moves in there for Ziggs. Now Brokenshard in trouble as Bubbadub goes down there to Leona. Pobelter looking for the satchel on RobertxLee, but doesn't quite find it. Have to be a little careful. Snoopeh make a death rocket as beautiful find in from Pobelter though. And now Brokenshard can be in trouble. Westrice looking for the reset. Almost finds two as he gets one kill in there as well. Now Snoopeh planning it around. Pete's out of mana though, but InnoX chasing Mundo around the base. It seems like look to teleport coming in now for Westrice as well. And Snoopeh going to look for the cleanup here. That's a kill there. And now RobertxLee is very dead.
Yeah, he's cornered.
There's nowhere Jinx wants to be, and Olaf gets yet another kill.
All right, so EG was able to make their play up top, then overextend a little bit between two turrets. Everything turns out just fine, though, because InnoX is able to teleport in, clean everything up.
And InnoX once again looking really strong here. We said, kind of like Pobelter, not sure what to expect, and his Rivens look fantastic here in this game. Every single time he has used his teleport, the impact has been really felt here by Determined.
He's really a beast for this EG team, but everyone really on their side is ahead right now. Especially, we're going to have to take a look at Snoopeh because right alongside InnoX, he can dive just as well. There's the beautiful engage from Krepo. Everybody wants to see it. Now, here is the overextension from EG. They get a little bit too close, and Pobelter will Zhonya's the ulti from Brokenshard, which is a great move, but Westrice can jump right in to finish him off. You only get one Zhonya's. Can't use it again on that. And the non-reset right there from Krepo delays Westrice damage just a little bit. And so he overextends onto Pete. And since Pete has Flash, he gets away, out of danger, and there's no escaping the axes of Snoopeh.
And then Robert, absolutely nowhere to run after that. Snoopeh is going to get himself yet another kill. And just looking so strong here. Evil Geniuses, really strong lead. In fact, they're 10,000 gold ahead already, Kobe, this series. But as Kobe mentioned, comeback's definitely a bigger thing now on this newer patch here in the preseason, and it is certainly not over till it's over.
That's why I love how EG are protecting this dragon. It's kind of an old mentality that later in the game, teams stop caring about it. But it still is that big comeback mechanic. So EG, they're not going to let anything go. They definitely want to secure that objective and close all of the doors in Determined's face.
Yeah, EG really just looking to close, as you said, as many doors as they can and just close out this game in style here. I mean, EG, two new players picked up for them, but if anyone can guide some new players into closing out a game, and we often almost criticize the amateur and the challenger scenes for maybe not closing games out that well, especially on this patch. If you have veterans like Yellowpete, like Krepo, like Snoopeh in your team, you're going to know how to close.
It's very interesting that they're choosing to go for the Baron area as their means of kind of closing this one out, because along with all the vision changes, it's become so much more difficult to control that area since the sweepers are a very limited resource and it's a team shared resource. Vision right now, you really have to depend on the rest of your team. Oh, Brokenshard gets caught.
Yeah, that's not good news. Pobelter picks up a kill. Bubbadub forced to flash as well as RobertxLee is going to move the Chompers in. But that one kill is maybe all EG want to close out this Baron.
All right, so they've got Westrice down bottom pushing, so he'll eventually get that turret. But they're going to grab that Baron right now. And one outer turret or secondary turret for Baron is an amazing trade if they can make it happen. Robert will probably go for the steal, though, with the ultimate.
Yellowpete taking a lot of damage. Beautiful barrier to protect himself, but Jinx still going to get the kill as Yasuo goes down. There's so much damage coming through. The Baron getting low. They've got to be careful. They are going to secure it, but Determined looking so strong here. Now Krepo going to go after RobertxLee. EG needs to back out if they can, but InnoX doing the damage. Takes out Arthelon there. Westrice gets out Leona, and now the reset's coming through as well. Good death sentence they're coming in, and RobertxLee with the shutdown.
They were able to take the Baron before they started losing members, though. So they got the objective first. It was such a really good hook, though, there. 2 really good hooks from Bubbadub, catching both high priority targets. First Yellowpete, then InnoX later.
Thankfully, though, Determined only take the 1 turret there down the bottom. EG, though, could lose this one in mid as well. Bubbadub kind of zoning out Pobelter if they can. Ziggs, great wave clear, but RobertxLee is going to take it out and ride the lantern away. All
right, so they're able to answer back a little bit. Now they're going to want to lick their wounds, though, because 2 of the members of EG are still wearing that Baron buff. Here goes the harass, and then there's the first hook I was talking about onto Yellowpete. This just gave so much hope to DTG, and this is why Bubbadub rotates down around the entrance of the Baron. I gotta think that if the rest of the team had rotated as quickly as him, it might be a different story. But Westrice comes in, defends Robert, and then they're able to clean up InnoX. So even though Arthelon did end up going down, he showed that he can last as long as 2 members of EG in the enemy lines.
But EG still maintain a big lead here in this game. I mean, it's not going to quite be the big Baron they can push on maybe that they would have wanted, but they're going to keep trying to close this game out. And InnoX, his teleport's almost back up. He knows what his job is.
It is getting a little scary for them, though, because Mundo's creeping up on that point where he gets extremely beefy, and it just takes so long. Yes, you can kill him, but it takes so long, and it takes so many of your spells and cooldowns to do it that sometimes you just want to bypass him and go for the resets here on DTG instead.
Yeah, and for all the kills and gold that EG have, the AD carries are actually surprisingly close in gold. You can see there's under 1,000 actually between Yellowpete and RobertxLee.
Well, before all the madness with the kills down bottom and the rotations with teleports started happening, Robert had a huge lead down there. And he did have a big upper hand. He's been able to keep his CS up, too. So he's going to be doing fine going into that late game. And like we said, Jinx is amazing in that late game. Not only does Westrice have the ability to chain kills and get resets, but Jinx with the Get Excited is one of the best AD carries there for the end game because she can continually chase people down and use that mobility that she gains after 1 kill to reposition.
Evil Geniuses, though, member missing there with InnoX up towards the top. He does have his teleport if he wants to use it, but he's going to have to be careful. And a lot of the gold interesting is actually on Pobelter and Krepo. So that's good for Ziggs. He's going to be able to poke and really clear waves. And Krepo, he's spent his items well, but you maybe want that gold on someone that can carry a little harder.
Yeah, I'd say Krepo deserves that gold with all of the amazing ultis that he's been landing here. He has been getting himself extremely beefy, so he is just as strong a tank here as someone like Snoopeh. And he's going to be wanting to use his ulti for the engage, but then also he has the ability to peel for the likes of Pobelter and Yellowpete.
And so EG going to start this siege now. Got Baron on a couple of members. That's good enough. InnoX going to take away the red buff there as well. I mean, the wave kill looking pretty good here for DTG. Jinx is very, very good. Not just at sieging, but counter-sieging.
She is at that, but I mean, EG've got a really good combo there. Pobelter, you know, he can use the passive from Ziggs to just get 1 auto attack onto a turret, and it takes a big chunk out of it. So even with the small regen of the inhibitor turrets, if they just get those Ziggs empowered auto attacks and the Ezreal Trinity Force empowered auto attacks onto it, then they can chunk it down pretty significantly.
Yeah, and the poke as well from Ziggs maybe make the difference here in this fight, but we'll have to see here. Determined holding on for dear life here at this point. InnoX was up towards the top lane, but he's rotated himself through the jungle, just kind of clearing out what he can. Westrice, rotating up towards the top to kind of push that back here, and it is the split push here for EG Kobe. Like we mentioned, it's pretty much their plan at this point. They're going to look for a good point to teleport.
Yeah, I like the kind of answer from DTG. Westrice just went to split mid instead, so he was like, okay, you're going to split push top. I don't really want to fight you again, so I'll take some minions and then come and try and hold on to my turret.
Yeah, but InnoX really just going to try and be a pain here, and you can see Brokenshard kind of in the middle, wants to mediate these lanes here as the push happens. I mean, one of the issues with teleport is that, Brokenshard going to go through. There's the Assault and Battery. Westrice going to try and see if they can kill him, but InnoX going to look for the 1v2 here. Damage down to Westrice, but he's kind of invisible, can't really see him, and Brokenshard still putting the damage through.
Burning!
Almost enough, does get it. Pops the GA, the turret goes down as well towards the bottom, and InnoX is still alive, and Westrice back up. Does get the kill, but they're losing everything here, Determined.
They spent the GA, and it took them so long to finish off InnoX that the rest of the team was able to make the plays because, like we said so many times before, all the resources from DTG going over to try and stop InnoX, they get an inhibitor for it. And InnoX was able to take down that GA from Westrice. So that was definitely worth it for EG. They're also able to take another dragon off the table, so that comeback mechanic's not available for Determined.
And it almost feels like Determined got a little impatient there with that kill. I mean, they could have just left someone to move up there and just keep the lanes pushed out. Because again, if you teleport, the longer the space is, the better the port is for you. So from one inhibitor to another, it's actually not that far.
Exactly. Westrice could hold on to that lane as long as he's at his turret, because he's not that afraid of InnoX actually diving a turret. But you can see from the flash ulti there from Brokenshard, they thought they could finish him off very quickly. And then once the fight began, again, it looks kind of like Westrice didn't know quite where to go, walking back and forth because he's so scared of the damage and the burst from Riven that it took them way too long to finish him off.
And InnoX now has finished a Guardian Angel for himself. So that's going to be pretty interesting news here. I mean, you saw just how hard it was for Westrice to kill him, and InnoX was doing so much there 1v2. If it had GA in that last fight, it probably would have been a clean 1v2 there for Riven. And I mentioned how scary Riven can be. InnoX is looking at the peak of his power, and that is the thing for me, Kobe. That's the interesting timing point for this game. EG kind of have to win now.
Well, they've got a really good chance because InnoX now has GA of his own, and Westrice is going to be on cooldown. So in that 2 versus 1 situation, if they repeat that fight, I'm going to have to give the edge to InnoX.
I mean, it looks good now for EG, but if this game goes longer, and we've seen it long games already today, Kobe, then Determined Gaming can certainly get there with their late game and turn it around. But right now, looking really up against the ropes. Baron up very, very soon as well. So you can see the triple sweeper there actually on EG. They want absolute vision around this Baron area if they can get it.
Right. Okay. So that shared resource vision point I was trying to make before is that, you know, since everyone only gets 1 pink ward, and you can only have a couple sweepers. Oh, they're gonna basic instead.
Brokenshard, wrong place, wrong time. Ziggs there, bomb coming with Yellowpete.
Again.
Able to pick up that kill. Now Snoopeh chasing through with the Ragnarok. Nothing stops Olaf in this form, and that's a double kill for Pete moving through. RobertxLee in a whole lot of trouble as well. His GA is gonna get popped here. Should be finished off here at this point. Oh, everybody misses. Can't quite time the GA respawn, but 3 clean kills.
It is exactly the same result as last time we started talking about that. Those sweepers definitely paying off. It's Brokenshard going in there to try and grab a little piece of vision and ends up dying for it. They get 3 members down. It should be a very easy push in here.
EG just waiting for their minions to come in. Bottom inhibitor already down. They're looking to take a second one here as well. And they can quite possibly move off and take Baron fairly safely after that as well. You can see the inhibitor turret going to drop quickly. The inhibitor not long for this world either here as it quickly goes down. And Determined Gaming, there's still comebacks here maybe, but this is a tough spot to be in.
Now, this spot is 2 inhibitors down, minions in your base, and Baron is up. They are extremely scared right now because if they choose to go contest this Baron, those minions are going to constantly be doing more damage to the base. They will lose Nexus turrets.
Kobe, I have to ask you, is the 3rd time the charm? Because that is exactly what EG are hoping for here.
Brokenshard looks like he wants it, but this time they're going to use the ulti first. Okay, he sees they're not on Baron. Brokenshard may live this day.
I mean, it might already be gone if you're Determined Gaming.
You know what's funny is they saw that missile go by, so they know that Determined think it's clear, and now they'll just take it.
That's actually really, really clever from EG. And Brokenshard's going to get the bad news. He'll look for the smite steal, though. Volt Breaker charging out. Oh, that is really smart for EG. Oh, he's going to go into Soul Battery. He steals it! He gets Baron! He gets that with a lesson! Amazing play there from Brokenshard.
I thought he wussied out, but he was just waiting. He uses the ulti, grabs it anyway, and here's the teleport.
InnoX moving through. RobertxLee very, very dead as Riven's going to pick up that kill, but Brokenshard, I thought EG was so smart in waiting for Volt Breaker to run out.
It was.
Forgot about Assault and Battery.
It was the perfect play right there. Both teams played that perfectly. It's just that the smite goes to Brokenshard. They end up with this one, but EG are going to take the bait.
And Krepo misses his first thinnest blade of the game, I think, but this 3rd inhibitor looks very, very, very dead at this point as Brokenshard moving back in. You can see it looks like Bubbadub getting jumped on as well. Krepo going real deep there as Snoopeh jumped into the fray as well. Now Yellowpete moving forward with the damage. Pobelter picks up 1 kill as Thresher's going to go down and moving the rest of them out with the mines as well. The last inhib going to fall there and EG going to back out with almost everything. But that was a steal and a half, Kobe.
Yeah, DTG's only hope now are home guards for everybody and hoping that EG will stay too long and they can actually answer back with some kills.
EG going to stay a little late here. Oh, Homeguard actually moving through. Brokenshard, ult not quite back here. Krepo a little low. Looks like they are going to back off there just enough to move out of the way. Westrice's GA back up too. Super Mega Death Rocket actually going to kill Krepo. But Westrice going to get touched. The GA gets caught there. Pobelter with the ult coming through. And beautiful kitings moving out of you. EG, a beautiful turnaround there and determined. A little greedy there on that one. RobertxLee's back though. So they might have to get out of the way, and they will.
Oh, the burst damage from Riven. Even when she's slow life, not only can she put out so much damage, but her shield also is a massive amount. Able to just instantly destroy Westrice as soon as he jumps in.
The good news though for Determined, they did get their last inhibitor back. So they at least have that.
All right, they got 1 of 3. That's pretty good.
That's true. I mean, it's not 2 out of 3, which ain't bad. But 1 out of 3 is better than 0 out of 3. And Brokenshard here just going to clean them out, clean the minions out, sorry, out towards the top lane here. I mean, his team, some of his team at least, does have Baron.
Exactly. The Baron was recently taken, so that objective is not on the map. There's not much that's going to draw Determined out of their base now. And even though their inhibitors are down, they can just farm the waves inside of their base and force EG to come for a 5-on-5 team fight. The only thing they would be giving up is that next dragon, which is probably going to go to EG anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, EG just have complete control of the map. You can see right now the sweep is only just starting to come out for Determined. They've really valued their yellow trinkets here because they've just not been able to leave their base pretty much at this point. As you call Kobe, the next dragon is going to go down, and EG, they're looking to win now, surely.
Yeah, I really would make the call for Determined to stay inside the base. There's almost no reason you should be outside of the base for their team right now because all the minion waves are going to be pushing in anyway, so if you want to farm, you can farm close to the priority objectives that your team's going to be coming for.
But EG moving in for the kill here. On top of this inhibitor, Bubbadub looks for the death sentence but doesn't quite find it. Arthelon just throwing out the poke. Another inhib respawns though. That's the mid one coming back up. And DTG going to dig in deep here.
And InnoX is fully potted up. His GA is up. His flash is up. His ulti is up. So he is looking to burst down Robert or Westrice here. And it looks, even though they've got another inhibitor respawn for Determined, it looks very scary here.
Yeah, and we've seen it before. One solar flare here from Krepo could change it. He's going to go in for it, but doesn't quite get it. I think RobertxLee was forced to flash there. Now Determined going to come back in. Krepo under siege there as InnoX gets out there on Riven. Bubbadub tries to throw the box out, and Pobelter runs defense with the ultimate as Brokenshard getting crushed down by that Riven. InnoX going so deep there with his GS still ready to go. RobertxLee, his GS is going to go down now as well, as Arthelon's looking to be in trouble as well. Robert goes down instantly once he gets back up from Riven, and EG, I think they've done it, Kobe.
Yeah, Determined didn't quite all go in all at the same time, and EG are going to take the first game.
Looking really strong here, but Kobe, remember, 1 game out of a best of 5. We've got a long way to go for this team. But EG, showing up almost everybody, it seems like here. No one knew what they were going to be like. They look good. Oh, Krepo.
Yeah, deserved right there. Good job, Krepo. I have to say, you know, InnoX showed up great. He was a massive force in the end game there. And, you know, Pobelter did his best. He did not go on tilt from that early kill. But the MVP, I have to give it to Krepo because he made the game-changing engages down bottom in the early and mid-game to get them ahead.
And I think I have to agree with you. Krepo, as I said, I think he missed one Zenith blade that I was able to see on camera. Just looking so solid there. And his Leona, it's scary for a reason. I would be shocked if that didn't draw a ban next game.
That'd be interesting. If they do ban the Leona, you know, Krepo still, he could take away something like the Thresh. So, you know, he has a lot of other options to go to, but they won't have that guaranteed long-range engage. I wonder if that's so important to this EG team that they'll make up for it with a pick somewhere else on the map.
Maybe. I mean, that's kind of specific to Ziggs, I think. I mean, and that was one of the things that I really liked about EG's comp was that they sort of built their team comp around, we want to pick Ziggs, we know he's strong, but he's not the, you know, engager middling like Gragas can be, like Orianna can be. He's all about the shoving, all about doing big burst damage and controlling space, and Leona's actually a beautiful complement to that sort of champion.
Plus, Krepo just loves that champion.
He does too, yes, which helped out a lot. And you could tell his experience looking really solid there in that game, and EG, as I said, we didn't know what they were going to look like, but looking really strong. And the 2 unknown players here, the 2 stars, really showed up big this game.
Yeah, they did. I would have to be pretty worried there for the Westrice fans because InnoX was looking great. And in the couple of scuffles, even the 1v1, when you know, Westrice, he just kind of got outplayed.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it before, people going invisible, and Westrice was trying to juke back and forth, but InnoX just found him and was able to kill him 1v1. And at that point, InnoX was looking very good on Riven, but he just caused so many problems. If Krepo was the MVP for the game there, especially the early game, InnoX has it for the mid and late game for me.
Yeah, a lot of the times when your opponent is so focused on tricking you and juking you, trying to make you miss your abilities, just holding on to them like InnoX did, and then waiting until he's out of movement to finish him off was the right call.
So moving through to game 2, of course, it is a best of 5 here, Kobe. Plenty of time for these two teams to kind of get things going. What do you think the tournament are going to change moving through the game?
I think that they're going to switch up the 2 versus 1 situation. It didn't seem like that helped out too much because, you know, they did get the extra turret there. They got it first. They got the first blood down mid too. But they lost out the dragon in that exchange as well. And then once it turned around, they had the teleport down and the engages from Snoopeh. EG was just able to roll ahead from there.
Yep, so we'll see what happens. We've got to take a short break, but when we return, it's game 2 between